So Enrique, catch us up on a little bit of a background here and what's going on with the way Yakima elects its mayor and a proposal to change that.
Yeah, so back in November, the city council voted to put a government change to voters. Right now, voters elect candidates to represent their district in the council, and then the council chooses a president to lead the council. And that president has the title of mayor, but really they're just a president. They're follow Robert's rules and such. The person with actual executive power in Yakima City Government is the city manager, and they're hired by the council to run their government day to day, do hiring, do firing, things like that. So the proposal was to change that system to replace essentially the city manager with an elected mayor as top executive. And proponents of the proposal, which include a former mayor, a county commissioner, they say people have a right to choose who their chief executive is, but civil rights organizations like the ACLU, Columbia Legal Services, and OneAmerica, they have come forward in letters and in city council meetings saying that they worry that citywide elections will disenfranchise Latinx voters. And that motivated them to file lawsuits against the city on Tuesday, not actually about what is in the content of the proposal, but because they said the proposal didn't meet ballot title requirements and that the proposal itself was unconstitutional because it was being put to voters by the city in a special election when voter turnout is really low.
Okay, so let's step back. There is some historical context here, some important historical context. Back to 2014 involving a lawsuit and the Federal Voting Rights Act that eventually made changes to how Yakima elects not only a mayor, but the city council members. Give us some of that historical context.
Yeah, so the system of government was largely the same as it is now, but the way that candidates got elected was very different. Candidates would run in primaries and get votes from people in their district, but then their district races would turn citywide. And so what that meant was that people from every district were voting on races happening in every other district. And that in and of itself isn't a problem, but because Yakima is so segregated with most Latinx residents living on the east side, that meant that candidates from those districts wouldn't make it to the council. And actually no Latinx candidates ever made it to the Yakima City Council before this lawsuit. That was until 2014 when 3 Latina candidates got elected after federal court sided with the ACLU on that Voting Rights Act lawsuit. And they agreed that citywide council elections disenfranchise Latinx residents, but the question now is whether that would also apply to mayoral elections.
Thanks for the information on all those stories, Enrique. You can see more on these and other topics that Enrique reports on at nwpb.org. Thank you for joining us here in the unique Northwest.